got a killer on a run in Ohio.
Hello, I'm Bill Swafford, the host of the true crime podcast Murders in Ohio. So far, I've been doing my best to stay caught up with the George Wagner murder trial. George Wagner is on trial for the murders of 8 members of the Rhoden family out of Pike County. The first witnesses for the prosecution took the stand today. The first witness was Bobby Joe. Bobby Joe was the one who found Chris Rhoden and Gary Rhoden, and also found Frankie and Hannah Gilley. However, no one got to see her testimony because she opted out of her testimony being recorded by the media. And in the state of Ohio, witnesses are allowed to opt out of being recorded for the media. This brings up a question for me. Will Jake or Angela Wagner opt out of being recorded while they're giving their testimony in this trial? Now, the death penalty is still on the table for all the Wagner family members. If Jake Wagner goes in and changes his testimony from the statement that he's already given, the court can decide to put the death penalty back as an option. The second witness for their defense was James Manley. James Manley is the brother of Bobby Joe Manley and the brother of Dana Rhoden. James Manley is the one who found Dana Rhoden. James looked a little uncomfortable on the stand. He gave a lot of short answers. He was questioned about the morning that the Rhoden family were found. James had said that he didn't know that something was going on until he followed his parents to Frankie's place. And that's when he found Bobby Joe there, and he realized something was wrong with Frankie. And James and some others actually went into Frankie's house before law enforcement got there, and they actually seen Frankie Rhoden and Hannah Gill dead in their bedroom. And that's when James Manley left the property there, drove over to Dana Rhoden's house, where Hannah and Chris Jr. also lived. James said that he had gone inside of Dana Rhoden's house, called out for Dana, but she never answered. So he went to the bedroom, and that's when he found his sister, Dana Rhoden, dead. James said he then left the house without checking on Hannah or young Chris. James left Dana's house and then went back to his house, which is less than a mile from Dana's there on Union Hill Road. He picked up his wife, then went back to Dana's house. And that's when he flagged down a Piketon police officer. He says at that time he only knew that Dana Rhoden was dead. He said that he did not know that Hannah was dead or young Chris. However, he said that him and his wife was going back to that mobile home where Dana lived to pick up the baby. James said that he didn't know too much about Chris Sr.'s and Billy Wagner's relationship as friends. James did admit that he liked running derby cars with Frankie Rhoden, and he did know of Frankie Rhoden's fighting chicken. Now, the reason why James was home when the Rhodens was found is because it was raining that day and he couldn't work. He says that his cell phone was out of minutes, so he had no cell phone use. Whoever he did call that day was on his wife's cell phone. The prosecution did go over some photos of Dana Rhoden's house with James Manley. James did get a little emotional at some points in his testimony. The defense lawyer didn't have too many questions for James. There was nothing about James's testimony that would push towards the fact that George Wagner is guilty of murder. James's testimony basically painted a picture of the morning the Rhoden family were found. There was a third witness who opted out of being recorded. The fourth witness was the EMT. The EMT testified to going to each crime scene and verifying that the Rhoden family were dead, which is common practice. I believe it's been a slow start for the state of Ohio. The prosecutor doesn't seem fully prepared, and it seems that she doesn't have her witnesses fully prepared. That's all I got for now, but I won't stop with this question. Do you think Jake Wagner or Angela Wagner will opt out of being recorded for the media? Do you think that we're actually going to see their testimonies? I'm going to keep following along with the George Wagner trial, so make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. I'm Bill Swafford, and this has been Murderers in Ohio.
We got the devil on the run in Ohio.